very cool in the US today. We dress ironically, shave ironically, tweet ironically. Our culture has embraced irony almost as if it actually knew what it meant. It's gotten so deep into our psyche that now even our politicians are taking it upon themselves to be ironic, even if they don't know it. Case in point, the new Jeddah Communiqué forged by John Kerry. The fancy-named document was just inked in Saudi Arabia. It basically says that countries in the Middle East agree to support the U.S.'s war on ISIS in the region. Several countries signed the agreement, but the big win for Kerry was getting Saudi Arabia itself to sign, according to many experts, because they're really rich, they've got a big military, and they've got tons of influence across the area. The Saudis signed on to the communique, agreeing to provide bases to train and arm certain groups of rebels in the region to help fight ISIS. So it was with great pleasure that Kerry returned home with the Saudis' signature on the communique. And though we might have missed it, Kerry's also bringing home a big bucket of irony. You see, the U.S. is declaring this war to degrade and defeat ISIS because they just beheaded 2 American citizens, James Foley and Scott Sotloff. But the U.S. just enlisted Saudi Arabia to fight these beheaders when Saudi Arabia itself is the world's most notorious beheader. In fact, they just beheaded 8 of their own citizens in this past month alone, according to UN observers. 4 people the Saudis just beheaded were from one family, and they were beheaded for the crime of receiving drugs. Saudi Arabia is the only country to conduct formal beheadings regularly, according to the Washington Post. They behead so much that last year they reported a shortage of trained swordsmen to carry out their beheadings. This year, they even beheaded a kid, according to Amnesty International. The Saudis aren't afraid to severely punish anyone they think committed a crime. And crimes in that country include driving, if you're a woman, praying, if you're a Christian, and other offenses that people in the free world consider everyday actions. This is the U.S.'s new partner against terror in the Middle East. We've enlisted the worst beheader to fight other beheaders. So yeah, irony is so cool in the U.S. that even our foreign policy gets in on the action. And much like most of our ironic t-shirts and mustaches, there's nothing funny about it. Tonight, let's talk about that by following me on Twitter @TheResident.